Terry, what's your reaction to this very public letter that apparently has now been transmitted as well to the North Koreans?
Good morning, Vonnie. A couple of comments. One is that I do think this is a negotiating tactic, as Marty and Kevin point out. This letter doesn't say we're never having a summit. It says we're not having one on the appointed date and the appointed place. This is, to me, pretty clearly an attempt to reset these negotiations after North Korea started the usual and I think expected sort of shakedown tactics. A couple of other points. One is I want to emphasize that the United States and China have expressed a similar interest in having North Korea denuclearized, and I expect that to continue. Thirdly, I want to point out, and this is a lot of work done by our China research team. North Korea is essentially bankrupt. So part of what President Trump is doing right now is putting additional pressure on North Korea to say, look, if you really want to come to the table and do this straight up, we can do it. But if you want to insist on your usual tactics, then I'm not playing. I think there's that. Finally, I expect this to not have any real impact on the U.S.-China trade negotiations. U.S. and China are not together on trade for the sake of North Korea. It is it's sort of mutually reinforcing. But, my view of this is we've been off to a good start on trade negotiations, and those will continue. But the trade negotiations will take months to play out regardless.
Yeah, it's a very fascinating letter, isn't it, Terry? I'm not sure if you've had a chance to read it, but it's a very emotional letter. It makes it sound like President Trump and the North Korean leader had built up a very personable friendship. Or perhaps President Trump is trying to give that impression to the North Korean leader. Is that a tactic that might actually work?
I think it's certainly possible. I have seen the letter and have read it with some care. And what I thought from the letter is that it was a combination by the United States president of saying, look, I thought we were having we were building a good personal relationship here, and we were building up to a good talk and potentially a good result. But if you want to keep on this way, well, then we don't have to talk. This is not going to be another one of the meetings that you've had with Western governments over the last 25 years and with the United States for the last 25 years, in which you hope to get something for nothing. This is going to be a different sort of negotiation, and I think that's clearly what the president's trying to convey.